Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the 1UP Superstar Series playoffs. This is race number 2 of 10 for the postseason, race 22 in total for the whole season, and we're at the beautiful Las Vegas Motor Speedway for what is expected to be a very high-action, high-intensity race. If the Nitro National race yesterday was anything to go off of, we're in for some big surprises here this afternoon. Alongside me in the booth for today's race is James Ellison, just as it was last week, and well, last week we saw one driver lead almost the entire race. This time around, that is by no means going to happen. These guys are much faster at this track. They're going to be running at speeds of over 200 miles per hour, and at this point in time, the championship's up for grabs. Everybody's still within 29 points, so there's a lot to play for still.
Absolutely. You got quite the lineup here. You got McDonald up here, that pole streak continuing. It's going to be fun to watch this play on. You could see some people starting toward the back, like Jeff Bolton, who that is a yikes for him, but he should be able to get back up there real good as long as the car stays well under him. You got so many other people here who could have a chance. Last week's winner, William Brock, I have a feeling he's not going to want to stay back there where he's starting in 27th. Never know what's going to happen sometimes in Vegas.
Absolutely, especially with the 1UP Superstar Series. We've seen some big moments here in the past. As we look now at the starting lineup, as you said, our magical pole streak continues with Ben McDonald getting his first pole of the season with J.D. Martin alongside him. Daniel Bouchard, the next highest playoff contender, in third. Emma Carter, fourth. And Justin Hutchinson, who's won 2 of the last 3 here at Las Vegas, lining up in fifth. Could he make it another win at Las Vegas for that 10 car and produce a playoff run that could take him towards the championship? We've got a lot of playoff drivers starting near the front, but a few outliers like Yepes in 6th, Reed in 12th, Fitzwater in 16th, a lot of big names starting in the mid-pack like Finguy in 20th. We have Duke Ansack in 25th, Roberto Crown Jr. 21st, so a lot to play for, as I said, and being the nature of this racetrack, you can get from the back to the front very quickly.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun race to watch. I suspect we're going to have a lot to be talking about by the time this one's over.
So with that being said, all the cars are lined up on the grid, and we are ready to bring you 81 laps of heart-pounding action from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. This is the 1UP Superstar Series from Las Vegas, and the green flag is mere moments away, so stay tuned, because you're not going to want to miss a second of the heart-pounding action to come over the course of the next 81 laps. As the field rolls off of turn 4, pace car on pit road, leaves us in the hands of Ben McDonald and J.D. Martin. Into the restart zone we go. The green flag is out, and we are underway for 81 laps at Las Vegas. McDonald off to a good start. Hutchinson's a little late on the gas. He might have to make way for Yepes and Carter on his outside, as McDonald steams off with the lead going through 1 and 2. Bouchard right behind him. It's going to take him a good long while to get up to full speed, but once they do, they'll be rocketing around this place.
Good, and you see right there, Carter already at the third. So the way they're looking right now, that's probably not going to last long, so she better enjoy it while she's got the chance, as we've got a battle for the lead already.
Yeah, McDonald leads lap 1, but here comes Daniel Bouchard on the inside. He was seated last among the playoff contenders. He's still 14th in the points. He's looking to make some headway in the field, trying to chase a championship. Bouchard takes the lead from McDonald, and here comes Hutchinson on the bottom with help from Christian Vargas.
And like I said about Carter, enjoy it while it lasts, because here come the playoff contenders. Man, J.D. Martin, this is looking really good so far. Just got to keep it in there, and all Bouchard's got to do is hope they keep fighting back there and do what William Brock did most of last week at Bristol, just take off. But hard telling with Hutchinson clear of everyone else right now.
Yeah, Hutchinson is a beast at this racetrack. He has won twice here. Yes, he swept the races here last year. I believe he finished 2nd or 3rd in the spring race here this year. So he's very good at this racetrack, and he'd love to get another win here, get his championship charge off to a good start, as he's currently 3rd in the points. So a lot to play for Justin Hutchinson, but it's Daniel Bouchard who leads the way right now, ahead of Hutchinson. Vargas 3rd, Martin 4th, McDonald falls back to 5th to round out the top 5 as we complete lap number 4.
Yeah, seems like he's holding a pretty steady lead right now. Bouchard is, and that's going to help him be able to settle in and get a rhythm. But Hutchinson starts putting on the pressure. He better be thankful it's not the last few laps because there's going to be plenty of time to get the lead back if he loses it now.
And Bouchard is looking to get Genesis Engineering their second consecutive win. Remember, William Brock won for the team at Bristol last week. Now Hutchinson's all over his back bumper. Bouchard trying to break a 51 race winless streak. For himself personally, he's going to try and give it his all, try and keep this lead for good. But here comes two very hungry challengers, Justin Hutchinson and Christian Vargas, looking to take the lead away from him.
Yep, Vargas wasn't able to get it done on Brock last week. He really wants to do it this week just because, that's that big a boost for the playoffs right now. And these three guys right up here in the top three, you see their spoilers. They are contenders. So it's a matter of who can do better than the other by the checkered flag, as we've got plenty of racing left to do.
And remember, Christian Vargas enters this race as the points leader. So a lot still to play for Christian Vargas. He wants to win this race, sure, but he's thinking big picture as well. If he can finish second for the second week in a row, that's another 45 points going his way. That'll help him out miraculously for the championship. And what could also help him out is his teammate Devin Fair entering the fray. Fair, who has never finished out of the top 10 since joining Revolution Racing. He's made a charge from his 11th starting spot all the way up into the top 5.
Yeah, but J.D. Martin there, he wants to play playoff spoiler. He's definitely doing a good job of that, keeping those teammates separate and putting a lot of pressure on Vargas as he tries to put some pressure on Bouchard.
Coming off of turn 2, the top 5 have started to pull away a little from everybody else. Now Fair makes a move to the inside of Martin. You need a lot of momentum to think about making a move here at Las Vegas, and Fair didn't have it. He tucks back in line behind the 66. Hutchinson tried to run on the top lane, nothing doing there either. And as you can see, the average speed climbs over 204 miles per hour. These guys are riding around this Las Vegas Motor Speedway, lapping in the 25-second bracket at Las Vegas. That is an impressive feat, but these guys are putting it all on the line for racing glory. At the end of the day, they might be in victory lane.
Yeah, and I know of the top 5 here, there's one who really would like to get in victory lane and take away that advantage, and that's the man right there smack dab in third in that line. That 66 Cartoon Network car. Just biding his time. He's hoping to at least have a good day, but like I said earlier, he couldn't play spoiler, but the challenge is he's got to hold off some very fast cars behind him and get by 2 very fast cars in front of him.
The top 3 in points currently all run in the top 5, with Vargas in second, Fair in 4th, Hutchinson in 5th. These guys are all racing for a championship, remember, as is Daniel Bouchard leading this race. But Bouchard is like around 28 points out of the lead. This could be a big day for the 73 to gain a lot of points in a very short amount of time, as Fair makes a move to the inside of Martin once again to try and join his teammate.
Yep, Fair's got a good car. Problem is, Martin has so far, as he clears once again, been able to hold off on the high side. He's no slouch. He doesn't care that he's not in the playoffs. He's going to fight like he is, which could really propel him to at least a top 5, top 10 finish, if not a win.
But as things stand right now, Bouchard continues to lead the way as we got a side-by-side battle here between Nick Ortiz and Nelson Reeves. This battle for 8th spot. Ortiz is able to clear to 17 for that position. Ortiz in the playoffs as well, as is Jake McMillan in the 10th position. McMillan had a pretty rough day at Bristol, so he's looking to bounce back here with a strong run, and he's got that so far with a top 10 spot. McMillan, I believe, entered this race 15th of 15 of the playoff contenders, and he absolutely did. He is 29 points out of the lead, but now we've got a battle for third once again. Devin Fair's got a lot better chance this time to get around the 66 of Martin.
Yeah, I think Martin's decided he's going to just let Fair go, as Hutchinson's under fire from the pole center McDonald, who himself has a little bit of a boost behind him in the form of Matchburn. So some new players starting to get into the mix here in the top 5. So, and of course, now a battle for the lead. Vargas finally putting up an effort to try to get by Bouchard.
Yeah, Vargas is tired of waiting around. He wants a bonus point for leading a lap, and hopefully one for leading the most as well. So far, Bouchard has that bonus point, but it's not a given that he'll keep it. because this race has been a lot more frantic for the lead than it was last week at Bristol. As Vargas, he's trying to get help from Devin Fair, but Fair's stuck on the top side, pushing Bouchard. McDonald now pushing the 54. Could Christian Vargas lead his first lap since his win in Kentucky? Looks like at the line, yes he will. Vargas to the lead.
Yeah, but the problem is, can he keep it? I know McDonald wants to get back up there. I mean, like obviously, now Vargas is clear, but these new players, well, one who started the race up front and one who started the race further back in Mashburn, these guys are all hungry, no matter if they're in the playoffs or not. It's just races like this. It doesn't have to be Daytona or Talladega for jostling for position. It's fun to watch stuff like this happen, no matter where you're at when it happens.
And for the guys not in the playoffs, they're battling for wins only. They don't care about points anymore. They just want to get into victory lane before the season's over. Although, as things run right now, the entire top 5 is playoff contenders, and they are thinking big picture, racing for a championship. I'm sure they'd love to get another victory. Heck, it's been 51 races since Daniel Bouchard's been to victory lane. But he knows he needs to race for a championship, and if that means finishing second to Christian Vargas. However, Vargas is entered this race as the points leader. So if Bouchard can get around the 54 and cut off any chance of him gaining more points, then he will absolutely give it a go.
It's all about outsmarting your opponent, especially for the playoff contenders. You got to come up with strategies as McDonald takes a peek on Bouchard, but doesn't quite get there. It's all about strategy. Playoffs or not, you got to figure out how to outsmart your opponent. If you're fighting for the championship, you want to do everything you can to make sure you have an advantage. But if you can't, you're either going to be leaving with your head hanging or scratching your head trying to figure out what you did wrong.
And remember, we're not going to be running this race as a flat-out sprint like we did at Bristol last week. There is going to be a pit stop involved somewhere between lap 45 and 55. So for these guys, they need to think about when they're going to do that, because the tire fall off here is not that significant. You can run pretty competitive speeds at the beginning of the run and at the end. But so you really don't need to pit early here. Of course, you'd like to get out ahead of your opponents, no matter what it takes. But the undercut's not as powerful here as it is at some other places.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big deal to watch this once the time for pit stops come. I couldn't help but notice while you were talking that Katie Martin and Hutchinson, they've slipped back to the bottom of the half of the top 10 there, and it's changed up quite a bit with the comers and goers, and we've still got plenty of racing left to do.
59 laps to go right now at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Vargas holds the lead ahead of Daniel Bouchard and Devin Fair. They've sort of pulled away a little bit from Ben McDonald, who's closing in on them at a little bit of a rate. But Devin Fair, he's taking a peek on Bouchard, but Bouchard shuts the door on him. Not today, he says. He wants to keep the Revolution Racing cars separated, because if they get to working together, they can start pulling away from the rest of this field. And with these two already 1-2 in the points, that is not something you want to see if you're not in Revolution Racing.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge for sure, just watching what's going on. And if you got teammates in the playoffs, that's great until it comes to crunch time if they're still in contention, because then it's all every man for himself. But I honestly think that things are working out well for Revolution Racing so far, as Fair is still trying to get by Bouchard.
Looks like he's got a lot better chance, but he has to back off a tiny bit in the middle of the corner, so that allows Bouchard to stay ahead. But Fair also has a fender on him. Can Bouchard clear Fair going into turn 3? No, he can't. So the big question is, now, if Fair can get a good run off of 4, will he be able to clear going into turn 1? And it looks like he'll be able to. Fair up to second place.
And meanwhile, you got Ortiz there and Mashburn fighting forward. Where did Ortiz come from? I know he was already in the top 10, but wow, he found something to get by some of the guys he's been behind for a while. And there's someone else coming into the picture here into the top 5, or at least looking for a spot. That's comers and goers, like I said.
Yeah, Jake McMillan making a move now on Miles Mashburn. That is the battle for looks like the 5th position. McMillan trying to rebound after a middle of the road day at Bristol. But out in front, it's the 2 Revolution Racing teammates of Vargas and Fair. And like I said, they are starting to pull away from third place Daniel Bouchard. They have about a 7/10 of a second lead on him, but Bouchard's going to have a little help here from Nick Ortiz in a short minute. But now, what I think the Revolution Racing cars are going to try and do is try and tandem each other, get each other's slipstream through the high-speed corners at Las Vegas, and they're just going to try and pull away. It's easier said than done, of course, but that could be what they're trying to do.
Yeah, it could be, but, you know, Fair got a taste of victory several weeks back, and I know he wants another one. Vargas has a few wins of his own, and here comes Bouchard once again. Like you said, Ortiz helping him, and now Fair's on the defense, and if he keeps defending against 73, Ortiz is going to be wanting to make a move of his own.
Yeah, you say Christian Vargas has a few wins of his own. He's got 7 in his career. That's 3rd on the all-time list. He's looking to get his 8th here today, but Devin Fair looking for his 2nd, Bouchard looking for his 2nd, Ortiz looking for his 3rd. A lot of people still in play here as we enter lap 29 of this race. The top 4 starting to gap themselves a little bit from 5th place Mashburn.
Yeah, and I kind of noticed Nelson Reeves has got himself out of the bottom of the top 10 and JD Martin's dropped down. Those guys may not be in contention for the win, immediately in contention for a win at the moment, but they're making moves that if something happens to this top 5, they're going to be there to pounce on it.
Absolutely. You never count anybody out of this race until it's all said and done. As now Bouchard makes a move on Fair, but Bouchard has to get off the gas to keep his car going in the right direction. That allows Fair to maintain 2nd place. Vargas is liking what he's seeing out front. He's seeing his teammate playing defense behind him. That's just allowing the 54 to get further away. As Emma Carter holds the fastest lap of the race currently for 25.67. That's worth a bonus point, even if she's not in contention for the championship. But regardless, it's a good day for that 70 team. As things stand right now, no one's having a better day than Revolution Racing, the 2 teammates running 1-2 out front.
Yeah, we're only looking at 2/3 of them, but I can't imagine. We haven't been paying attention much to the backfield at this point, but I don't think JQ Halleck's going to be too worried about it with the 2 teammates up here doing a great job. So 2/3 of a good day isn't going to be bad if this is how they finish, but they've still got quite a few contenders and competitors to hold off.
And I believe even Halleck is running in the top 15. So they're having a pretty strong day overall with all 3 cars. As McMillan now tries to get around Nelson Reeves for the 6th spot. He looks like he'll be able to do that. As now his focus goes onto this group of 3 ahead. As McDonald now works underneath Reeves for 7th. Hutchinson's still back there waiting to strike. This is what Hutchinson likes to do. He likes to bide his time at the back end of the top 10, trying to make something happen. As it looks like 3 cars now going into draft formation to try to get past Devin Fair together on the bottom of the racetrack, but they all have to check up a little for each other, and that might allow Fair to hold on.
Yeah, they know that, honestly, it's getting to the point where they're like, enough's enough. We don't have any teammates up here, so we're going to have to work together to break these 2 up, and then we'll settle amongst ourselves if we can get by. But, man, Fair's got a strong car to be able to keep by. He's keeping that bumper real wide going in around this track.
Yeah, those yellow stripes don't mean a thing to Devin Fair. It may be his first season in the Superstar Series, but he's racing like a veteran as he now makes a move on Christian Vargas to try and take the lead of the race, but Vargas holds him off as they barrel off into turn 1 at over 200 miles per hour. These guys are performing at a level unseen by no others here in the 1-Up Superstar Series. This is brilliant racing, and we're still just a bit short of halfway.
Yeah, this is really good, and Fair being a good teammate, like you said, yellow stripes on the back bumper. What are those for, huh? He's really racing like he's been in this thing for a while. Just he is on a roll, and he is not intending to stop anytime soon. And it's really good as he continues to hold off Bouchard and everyone else behind him. And let's see what happens here as Bouchard tries once again.
Doesn't look like it's going to work, though. He has to back off once again. That allows the 51 to get a run off the corner, and he will easily keep 2nd place. So Revolution Racing teammates running in lockstep for the last 20 laps or so, trying to find a way to maintain this gap, even through a pit cycle, to try and bring home a 1-2 finish, something they were unable to do last time out at Bristol. But just as it was last time out of Bristol, they have a Genesis Engineering car in the mix trying to deny them. This time it's Daniel Bouchard. And Bouchard, it's been a long time since he's been to victory lane. Iowa 2020 was the last time Bouchard went to victory lane. He knows he's got a fast car, and he knows he has a chance as Ortiz gets underneath him for third.
Yep. I was just looking at that as you were talking about Revolution Racing versus Genesis Engineering, and Ortiz, he's trying to take a peek, but like fair with him, Bouchard's just got a strong car and was able to keep a good run on the high side.
Yeah, but this is all music to Christian Vargas's ears. He's got a quarter-second lead now over Devin Fair, and he can just maintain his gap. He doesn't need to try and pull out to a massive lead. He doesn't need to with a teammate playing wingman for him. As we approach the halfway lap this time, Christian Vargas has been in command for much of this race. Could we see something similar to Kentucky, where Vargas went on to win after leading every lap? He's not going to lead every lap this time, but we could see a similar outcome with the 54 in victory lane.
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a Revolution Racing dominance, whether it's Vargas or Fair going to victory lane, even though Bouchard keeps trying to get by the 51 and he just can't do it. This is almost like a rerun as Ortiz and all the others have started to slip back, and now Ortiz is on the defense back there. But it ain't going to matter to these three. Right now, it's between the three of them.
Yeah, two Toyotas and Bouchard's Dodge battling for the lead. Remember, Dodge snapped a long winless drought that actually dated back to Daniel Bouchard's last win at Iowa in 2020. Last week at Bristol when William Brock went to victory lane. Could Daniel Bouchard do something similar at Las Vegas? He's got a very fast car. He just needs to get around the two Revolution Racing teammates that are helping each other out. It's easier said than done, but I think Bouchard's got the best shot of anybody here in the field to get by these two.
Yeah, I think right now the only thing that's going to separate these two is a mistake by one or the other on pit road, but we still got a little bit of time before they absolutely have to pit, and I don't know. It could depend on real big, and right now they don't have to worry about much except Bouchard, who's a lone horse against them.
Yeah, Bouchard's got no teammates to help him. Brock and Yepes are outside the top 10, so he's got no other Dodges to work with him. The monster cars are outside the top 10, as is Lane Sanders and Zachary Fitzwater. So no other Dodges to help him. His friends are where he finds them at this point. He might have a friend in Nick Ortiz if the 91 can get up there, but I don't think he's able to do it right now. So as things stand right now, the two Revolution Racing teammates putting an absolute stomping on the field as we're well past halfway now.
Yeah, like I said, working with Ortiz, but Ortiz is starting to catch Buck up, but it's hard telling if they're going to be able to keep up. And what they may have to do is back up to Mashburn and see if the three of them can come up here and try once again to split these two up. But that's a tall order with two stout Toyota Camrys up front.
Yeah, these two have been models of consistency this season. Fair has a lot of top 10s this season. He's never finished outside the top 10 since Portland in June. So a lot of momentum on his side, although he may lose second here to Daniel Bouchard as he finally gets hooked up to Nick Ortiz. But Vargas shuts the door on him to keep him back in second. Now Bouchard and Ortiz get split up for a brief moment. Now they get back in line together. Fair drops back to fourth into the clutches of Mashburn.
Yeah, like I was just saying, Mashburn on the move, but it's a matter of if he can get a good draft from Ortiz, and it's not going to happen. Now can Bouchard and Ortiz work together to get by Vargas, or will they just decide, you know what, forget it, we're past halfway, it's time to fight for against each other here? So
they've dispatched of one Revolution Racing car. Now can they get by the other one? Fair is going to try and make a move back on Ortiz for third. He's separated the 91 from the 73. They're doing a pretty good job here, but Fair, I don't think, has the momentum needed to get around the 91. He's side by side with him. He's going to need the 72 to help him, and at this point, that's not a guarantee.
Although, well, he did just get helped by because he couldn't. I don't think Mashburn was able to get up there and do anything to help Ortiz, but it's that pesky Genesis Dodge in there. Except, like you said, it's not Brock this time. That still, it's been this team this Dodge team has been a thorn in Revolution's side this last couple of races. So, and last week it was the Dodgers that came out on top. They'd rather not have a repeat of that, I'm sure.
Absolutely. And you notice on the top left-hand side of your screen, the entire top 8 running order is comprised of playoff drivers. So the cream is rising to the top here at Las Vegas. We don't have anybody like William Brock stealing the show this time. It's just the best of the best racing for a championship and for the win at Las Vegas, as we're closing in on 30 laps to go now.
Yeah, 30 laps to go, and it looks as though there is a little bit of a change in the top 10. JD Martin has dropped out, and we have a new driver in the top 10. But
it's Anderson Reed in the 15. A phenomenal run for him. Oh, and speaking of Reed, there's a big crash in the back. Reed in trouble. William Brock, last week's winner, involved in this big wreck. Oh my! And Glenn Mixon. A horrible crash on the front straightaway. William Brock. Oh my goodness. William Brock with a terrible crash on the front straightaway. Caution!
No!
Caution, of course, comes out for this. Echo Ross with damage. Ben McDonald, a pole sitter. Jeffrey Finguy with a lot of damage. His day is done. And a lot of cars that came to pit road already. Jared Polanski, his day is done after this massive crash on the front straightaway. Blair in the 19, Duke Anzac in the 83. Andres Molina, Brantley Gage, Jeff Bolton, a massive crash on the front straightaway brings out the caution flag, and now everybody's on pit road to try and make it the rest of the way.
That, I did not see that coming. That was, wow.
A horrible crash on the front straightaway that eliminates at least a quarter of the field from contention, as pit stops are underway now for the front runners. Devin Fair getting some service, and it looks like he'll actually be able to complete his service before teammate Vargas. So as they come off pit road, we'll see what happens here. Fair exits the pits. He's going to get out ahead of Christian Vargas. Ben McDonald's coming into his pit. Oh, and he tags Bouchard on the way. Maybe a bit of right side damage on the 73, but Devin Fair takes the lead of the race under caution for a multi-car pileup on the front straightaway that left William Brock stunned and dazed here at Las Vegas. So here's where it all starts. What I think is going to happen, Reeves comes in the pit, and I think Reed was trying to follow him, but Ben McDonald didn't know that, and now everybody gets piled in. Duke Anzac riding the top of the wall, and then Glenn Mixon plows into the side of the 93, as does the 19 of Blair. And then Brantley Gage, with nowhere to go, pile drives into the 93. A series of sickening blows for this 93 car. That is a horrible, horrible impact. A lot of horrible impacts for this 93 team. Hopefully everybody's all right after that.
Yeah, it's just, you go from the top to this, that's not a good feeling for William Brock, for sure. And, man, that is one crumpled up car.
We're going to focus on the 93 for this one. And, yeah, it looks like the 15 got hooked by the 12 in response to the 17 slowing down. And these guys just have nowhere to go. Henry Thomas does a great job avoiding, but Glenn Mixon and Blair are not so lucky. They're going to be teammates next year, but, oh, my goodness, Brantley Gage with a head-on impact to that 93. Gage making only his third start of the season. That is just a devastating series of blows for everybody, honestly, but especially that 93, with a significant amount of damage done to that car. One more look at this from our far shot. You can see Reeves trying to pit, and I think Reed was trying to follow him, but Ben McDonald just was not aware of that. And now everybody starts to pile in at top speed. These guys have no idea. Oh, Halleck with an impressive job dodging this, as is Lane Sanders. But, Brantley Gage had a multitude of impacts. First with Andres Molina, then with William Brock. A lot of cars devastated by this impact. We saw this in the national race yesterday as well. That was near the end of the race, but here, a lot of cars devastated by this wreck. As we're back to our live shot now, Devin Fair is the race leader. We're gonna have a lap to go until the restart.
Yeah, it's a lot of cars out of this one, and seeing all these cars out, and looking back there at the very bottom. The 39, that's unfortunate.
Her first DNF of the season for Echo Ross. An unfortunate circumstance, but kudos to her for making it this far into the season without one. But it just goes to show you, anything can happen in this form of racing, even when you least expect it. But, as things stand right now, we have 55 laps completed. We're going to have 55 laps completed when they get to the line. And it's going to be Devin Fair leading the field, ahead of Daniel Bouchard, Christian Vargas third, Nick Ortiz, and Miles Mashburn. Rounding out the top 5 as we're getting ready for the restart.
And I'm seeing a couple of players in the top 10 now from all this that weren't in there before the incident. And green flag back in the air. We'll see what can happen. Can Bouchard continue to be a thorn in Revolution Racing's side or not?
This time it's Devin Fair with a run through turns 1 and 2. They got a powerful launch off the line down the back straightaway to go. And here comes Christian Vargas to Daniel Bouchard's inside. They're going to try and repeat what they did earlier in this race, as it looks like everybody's going to the top, and the Revolution Racing teammates hit pit road. A devastating situation as well for the two teammates who had dominated the race up to this point. Oh, that is just heartbreak for them. But Bouchard takes the lead now, as the two Revolution Racing cars that had dominated the race up to this point, they'd led so much of the day, now their hopes of winning are dashed, and Devin Fair's magic run of top 10s ends here today.
I'm confused as to what's going on here. Maybe they ran over some debris that wasn't caught from the crash. Because see, there goes Fair already. Just a quick, splash and goes. That is a really interesting call, and it could very well be a race center unless similar happens to the rest of the field. We'll see. But
yeah,
like I
think you're right in that they must have ran over something coming back onto the racetrack. That's just a devastating situation. Heartbreak for Revolution Racing. They had done so well in this race. Now they're outside of the top 30. But as things run right now, this has brought new life into this race. Daniel Bouchard now leads ahead of Mashburn and Roberto Crown Jr. You mentioned some new faces in the top 10. Crown now runs third ahead of Ortiz as Mashburn goes for the lead on Bouchard.
As Mashburn does that, you got Ortiz after Crown, and look back there in the 8th and 9th and 10th. Where did those three come from? This race has really been turned on its lid with the 54 and the 51 pitting, and Mashburn to the lead.
Yeah, that's Emma Carter in 8th, Sam Donato, her teammate in 9th, Diego Yepes now in 10th. These guys are all looking for good days here today, as Mashburn now trying to break a 50-race winless streak dating back to Twin Ring Motegi of 2020. Mashburn, it's been a long time for both him and Bouchard since they've been the victory lane, but they're both trying to capitalize on others' misfortune. Nick Ortiz, likewise, it's been 25 races since he's been the victory lane. His last win came at North Wilkesboro last year. Roberto Crown Jr. has never won. And Jake McMillan, of course, ended his winless streak in Portland earlier this season. But a lot of guys looking for some good runs here today, and they're getting them right now as we have 20 laps to go.
Yeah, 20 laps to go, and Ortiz trying to take a peek, and Mashburn trying to hold him back, but that 91, pretty strong, like some of the competitors they were dealing with earlier in the race. And Crown, he may try to capitalize on this, but right now it's the 91 and the 72 side by side, the 81 watching.
Yeah, Roberto Crown Jr., it's been a long road for him. Could this be the day that he gets his first career win? Or could this be someone else's time as well? As Bouchard goes underneath Crown to try and take third back. Ortiz and Mashburn duking it out for the lead. McMillan's joining the battle as well. A lot of cars we haven't seen up front as of late. They're making their way to the front now as it's getting close to crunch time at the end of this race here in Vegas.
Yeah, you got a nice mix there. You see Hutchinson coming in next, Emma Carter coming back up there after starting 4th. Like you said, some of these drivers looking for a real good run today, as McMillan tried to get to Ortiz, but the door was shut real quick there.
Absolutely, but as things run right now, Mashburn is in the lead, trying to end a 50-race winless streak for that 72 car. He's trying to get back to victory lane for the first time in 2 years. Could this be today? As you can see now, Devin Fair and Christian Vargas, 31st and 32nd, one lap down. A heartbreak in every sense of the word for those two. They had dominated this race. They ended this race 1-2 in the points. This is going to be a severe blow to their championship hopes here at Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's going to be something they're going to be real determined to fight back from. But for now, they're just going to have to ride it around and hope something happens. Maybe they have a shot to get back up in the lead lap and recover as many points lost as they can. But right now, main focus right here is on these two as they continue to run no stale, much like the Revolution Racing duo did in the first half. So, but they've got a lot of competition behind them. Really want to do something with them, but we'll have to wait and see what happens.
We've got another new contender in the top 10, Bobo Jones, running in 9th. We haven't mentioned him all day long.
Where'd he come from?
He's been biding his time, missed that massive wreck somehow, and now he's running in the 9th position. Could this be a good day for him after missing the playoffs for the first time ever this season? As now Bouchard, you can see in the far right side of your screen, gets underneath Ortiz for 2nd. Could we see a Genesis Engineering car go to victory lane? They got 2 shots at it with Bouchard, and now Yepes up in the top 10, battling Denoto for 7th.
And I just noticed 10th place change hands. You got Davey coming into this top 10. So a lot of these guys are get a shot that they didn't get before when some contenders were just content to ride around and try to make it amongst themselves. But man, that quick pit stop by the 54 and the 51, like I've already said, it's really opened the door for quite a few people.
We'll find out what happened to those two as soon as it's possible, but the likely cause is flat tires caused by debris. But at this stage of the race, it is Miles Mashburn with a 0.3 of a second lead over Nick Ortiz, Justin Hutchinson a further 0.2 back, then Daniel Bouchard right on his tail, and Emma Carter and McMillan battling for the 5th spot, as Ortiz now makes a move on the inside for the race lead.
He's got some help there from a fellow Ford driver in Hutchinson. But
yeah, they're teammates too.
Yeah, that's teamwork that we really want to see as you look back there and see Carter trying to hold on to 4th after getting it. But teammate battle right here. This is going to get interesting but I'm sure they'll race each other clean.
Fair but tough is what they're going to be doing, racing each other. Hutchinson trying to get his 3rd win in the last 4 Las Vegas races. He's 1 position away and 11 laps away from making it happen. We now are on lap 70 now, lap 71 of 81. This is getting right down to the wire here at Vegas.
And don't look now, here comes Yepes. He's up to 4th now after that restart. He is on a charge because we both know that and he's had a few opportunities to try to win. Had a real dominant performance in Indianapolis and just didn't get it done because something happened. And he's got the 3rd now as the teammates are going after each other again. Maybe he'll be able to capitalize and finally get something good out of things.
10 laps to go from Las Vegas. Hutchinson and Ortiz side by side for the lead. Yepes, as you said, clawing his way back up the 3rd. As you said, a heartbreak of his own at Indianapolis, where he dominated the first half of the race, then had a problem midway through and finished last. He got 2nd to McMillan at Portland as well. So Yepes has been in position a lot lately, and now he's going for the lead on Hutchinson. The 10 takes the lead with 9 laps to go.
Yeah, this ain't over. We've really had things mixed up. McMillan's come back in the picture. Carter's slipping back a bit. Davies moved moving up here a little bit. This thing is all topsy-turvy, and Teskar Jr. popping back briefly into the top 10 there, but hasn't been much of a factor today, but I'm sure he'd love to get some spots here toward the end as Yepes continues to try to find a way to catch the 10 and hold off the 10's teammate.
Yep, but keep in mind, we're going to have a lapper in the way between now and the end. Henry Thomas in the 8 is well off the pace of the lead group. They will catch him before this race ends, and now Cale Teskar Jr. takes the fastest lap away from Emma Carter. So this is going to be a very close battle for the rest of the race. We now have, looks like, 7 laps to go from Las Vegas.
You talk about Carter. She's dropped down to 10th right now. Got freight trained, I'm assuming, because she was on the high side for a little bit. But the battle right now, the main focus we're looking at, even as Mashburn and McMillan go by the 91, you got Hutchinson and Yepes. This is what we need to watch so long as no one else tries to sneak into the picture.
Yeah, Yepes is hounding the back of the 10 car, waiting for the right moment. He doesn't want to make the move too early, just as we see it at Daytona or at Talladega. You don't want to make the move too early, because then you'll run the risk of getting recaught and repassed, as Yepes now faces a challenge from Miles Mashburn for 2nd. And there is Henry Thomas, that damaged car, who's well off the pace. They're going to catch him probably in the next lap. So how they catch this 8 car and pass him is going to determine so much about this race right here.
Yeah, and you know, this is he's not up here, but I know there's a lot of drivers who would love. This is not what Henry Thomas wanted at all, to be passed by leaders, but you know, and he stays wisely out of the way. He did the smart thing. Let let these guys figure it out amongst themselves as we get closer and closer to that checkered flag. So that that was a bullet dodge, at least for the top five.
4 laps to go from Las Vegas. Hutchinson continues to lead, with Yepes all over the back of this 10 car. Yepes makes a move to the bottom of the racetrack now. Here he comes.
Yes, let's go. This is what he wants. He wants to be able to get out there, hear his sputter say clear, and get smooth sailing. But man, Hutchinson, as you said, he wants another one here. He don't care about Yepes wanting his first.
Yeah, Hutchinson looking for a big win at Las Vegas. This would be his 3rd win in the last 4 races here at Las Vegas. It would be his 6th career win altogether. That would be a great day for the 10 team. But Diego Yepes on the hunt for career win number 1, and he's 2 laps away from making it happen.
Yeah, and he's also, Diego's also got to worry about Miles there. The 72 is caught back up, like I was wondering about earlier, and maybe, just maybe, Mashburn can help him, or then again, maybe Yepes will go by himself. But that 10 is, as we've already said multiple times over, strong, but the 72 just might help Yepes make it happen. If it does, I'm sure Diego will be thanking him if it gets him a victory.
White flag is out. We have 1 lap to go from Las Vegas, and Diego Yepes takes the lead going into turn 1 on the final lap of this race. Yepes trying to become our next first-time winner in the 1UP Superstar Series. He's trying to do what his teammate did last week, win the race, and his teammate led all but 1 lap. This time, Yepes is only going to lead the last 2, but off of turn 4 for the final time, Diego Yepes fends off the charge and will take career win number 1 in a dramatic late race pass of Justin Hutchinson to come home with the win. Miles Mashburn takes 2nd ahead of Justin Hutchinson, who was side-by-side with Nick Ortiz at the line for 3rd. Jake McMillan comes home 5th, a good run for him. Mark Davey clawed his way all the way up to 6th at the track where he made his debut at last year. J.D. Martin 7th, Roberto Cron Jr. 8th, Cale Tescar Jr. 9th. Emma Carter just holds on to the final spot in the top 10, just ahead of teammate Sandinoto. But boy, as soon as that caution came out for that massive pileup on the front straightaway, this race changed, and it might have still gone Revolution Racing's way, but for that debris that sliced holes in their tires. That opened the door for a whole new cast of characters to join the fray, and in the end, it was Diego Yepes pulling through for that first career win.
Yeah, I honestly think this is true redemption for him after what happened at Indy, and of course finishing in 2nd the way at Portland, and the tears of joy have got to be flowing in that car right now, and the whole team just for all this, and it didn't even take domination for him to win, and I'm sure he's really happy about that.
He only led the final 2 laps in this race to Diego Yepes, but those are the only laps you need to lead to get to victory lane. And next up for the 1UP Superstar Series, we head for race number 3 of the playoffs, and that will take place at Michigan International Speedway for another great race out in the Irish Hills. We hope you'll join us for that as well, because this race, we've had 2 playoff races, 2 non-playoff winners going to victory lane. This is going to be a very interesting battle for the championship, which has now been blown wide open as a result of the events here today. So, from James Ellison and from myself as well, we say goodbye from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. A chaotic race from start to finish, but a big payoff for Diego Yepes, who cashes in big with a first-time winner, his first career win at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. You can't get much better than that.